Liftoff.
Hey, isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Watch this.
Hey, isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Spurs Nation, it's 2 weeks in a row where I do that. Go Spurs, go. How are you doing? What's going on? My international amigos of Spurs Nation, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today's a big day. There's some big news to talk about right off the gate. And obviously, I think those of you guys that are watching right now are noticing there's a few differences on this show. There's a few differences with this channel. So before we get into talking about the San Antonio Spurs versus the Utah Jazz, the preseason game, we got some house cleaning, some things that I got to go over with you, some changes, and I'm very excited to go over this with you because these changes are just all for the better for you guys, for the viewers of this channel, for Spurs Nation, first off, like, okay, let's get into that. You're watching, this is going to be probably like the last official episode of Spurs Film Room Live underneath that brand name, and the brand name has changed. The channel name has changed. So let's kind of go over what's going on with all that before we get into the post game and what Coach Pop, Dejounte Murray, and Joshua Primo had to say. So some important announcements, right, for this channel, and I'm so excited to go over this with you guys here today. So let me make myself a little bit smaller, right, so we can bring up the text a little bit. Spurs Film Room and SpursTubeTv will merge. Those of you guys that have been watching this show, this shouldn't be anything new to you. I've been promoting SpursTubeTv since the off season. It's been my second project that I've been working on and developing over the past 3, 4, 5 months. After the buzzer is the post game show on that channel, right, on SpursTubeTv. That was formerly OOC, all that stuff over there, right? I mean, those of you guys that follow me and follow what I did last season on that channel, I appreciate you guys for doing that. So what's happening here is that I'm going to be merging both channels into one. And what does that mean? Well, the first thing that means is that this channel, Spurs Film Room, will now become SpursTubeTv. Okay, so that's the first thing to know. Second thing to know is that Spurs Film Room and Spurs Film Room breakdowns will still be on this channel as YouTube Shorts, right? I'm starting to do more Spurs Film Room basketball breakdowns, play breakdowns, player breakdowns, things like that. And that will continue to be on this channel, and it'll still have the same logo and everything as it did before. The big announcement here, what I am very excited to announce with you guys here today, and especially with you guys here, my followers, my subscribers of Spurs Film Room, all 2,600 of you guys, right, that subscribe to this channel. I am very excited about this merger because after the buzzers, the post-game show this season will now be hosted and will be aired here on this channel, right? The new SpursTubeTv channel, right? So post-game content will be brought to you right here where you guys already get your Spurs content from me, right? So super excited about that, right? And that's really the main reason for the merger. Okay, so Spurs Film Room breakdowns are a passion of mine. It's kind of what started this channel. It's what I started doing early on and often. And then I started bringing you guys more commentary, more punditry, more daily takes, weekly takes, towards the end of last season and during the off season. You guys love that content as well. So Spurs Film Room, was eventually going to phase itself out as a name, as a brand name for the type of content that I bring you on this channel. Now, Spurs Film Room breakdowns, like I said, are a passion. They're like they're my biggest passion. Like they're my favorite type of content to make, and they'll still be on this channel. Um, but the reason why this merger is kind of it's great for you guys because you know I want you guys to have a one-stop shop for your content. And originally, I wanted After the Buzzer to be on the other channel because that's where it was last season. Uh, but it just really didn't make sense to keep it over there. It would have been lonely over there. You know what I mean? Like as a show, as a producer, and putting all my time and effort into this After the Buzzer show. That's I'm going to bring you guys this season. I didn't want it to be on a channel all by itself. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be on a channel all by itself, a young channel, a channel that has about 1,400 less subscribers on, right? No, like I want to bring it to you guys, the subscriber base that has been following me and supporting me throughout this whole off season. I want to bring that show to you guys, right? I don't want to have you guys go and go do the whole back and forth stuff. So, After the Buzzers will be aired here on this channel, and again, Spurs Film Room is the new SpursTubeTv. The next thing is that the Patreon members for Spurs Film Room is also the Patreon membership now for SpursTubeTV, and they'll be getting even more perks than they already had. Now that I can apply this to the Patreon is very exciting. I can start incorporating polls, and I can start incorporating Patreon guest spots, right? Post-game guest spots, like if there's a Patreon member out there that wants to like jump in during one of the post-game shows just for like a minute or two, get your take on. I want to do that for you guys, for the Patreon members, right? So more opportunities for Patreon members to kind of just get some more perks and get involved, right? Great stuff there. The old SpursTubeTv channel, which was the old OOC channel. I know this is a little bit confusing, right? But the old SpursTubeTv channel is going to be pivoted, and I'm going to be starting a NBA Film Room channel where that was, right? So since it only had After the Buzzer on it, I thought, you know what? Let me get After the Buzzer. Let me bring it home to Spurs Film Room. Let me rebrand. Let me go ahead and package all my content that I do for you guys, which is, I talk to guests. I do these presentation breakdowns with you guys. I do film room breakdowns with you guys. Try to bring you guys clips and long, short form content, all of it, right? And now After the Buzzers are going to be right here with it. And so I'm super excited about this. And it's all for you guys. Its main purpose is to be convenient for you guys to bring the show After the Buzzer to you guys. So again, like you guys already subscribed to my channel. Hopefully, if you guys that are watching right now, you guys already subscribed to my channel. So let me go ahead and bring that up really quick, and you guys will be able to see the new channel. And it's the same stuff. Here we go. Bring it up here. So it's the same stuff, same channel that holds my content, right? Except now it doesn't say Spurs Film Room anymore. It says SpursTubeTV. But when you scroll down on upcoming live streams, and I'm going to make an After the Buzzer playlist as well, right, for all the After the Buzzer content. But you can see the live streams here already. And so since you're already a subscriber and you probably already have that notification bell hit, right? So you get notified when I go live and when I drop new content. That'll also include the post-game shows that we're doing this season, right? Which I'm just so excited about, and I can't wait to get going here on October 15th, right? That's the first game here, right? So, very big news. Not a lot's changing for the people who subscribe to my channel. Really, only one thing changed, and it's a good thing. You're getting a new show on this channel. You're getting After the Buzzer, the post-game show. Instead of it being over there on the other channel all by itself, it's going to be right here for you guys. All right, so let me go ahead and pull my presentation back up. Thank you guys for sticking with me during that little housekeeping part of the show. Those of y'all that have supported me throughout this whole time, thank you guys. I do this all for you guys and trying to bring you guys the best channel that I can bring you. So let me go ahead and hit the chat room really quick. Go Spurs Go from the Philippines. Mi amigo, what's going on? Devop, right? What's going on, man? Houston Oilers, Go Spurs Go out of Austin, Texas. What's going on? It's me, Go Spurs Go from Phoenix. Mark Homcielo, Go Spurs Go from the Philippines. Brizzy, what's going on? JP Sleto, shout out from the Philippines. Thank you guys, man. Trevor Schultz, shout out from San Antonio. What's up, Dion? How you going? How you doing, man? Victor Mota, Go Spurs Go from Puerto Rico. Shout out Puerto Rico. So those of you guys that are hanging here, this is another part of the pre stuff before I get into the actual show, which I have pulled up right here for you guys. Um, uh, last week's episode, or on was it Saturday's episode? Saturday's episode of Spurs Film Room Live. I asked you guys one thing, to smash that like button down below and chant Go Spurs Go when you do, and you guys did that. And there was a lot of likes on that video. And I asked you to do another thing. Let me know down in the comments below if you're watching this live or post live, and let me know where you chant Go Spurs Go from. We're an international group here. That's why I love to say what's up, my international amigos of Spurs Nation, because we're global. We're global. We're a global community. And man, you guys responded. Japan, Australia, France, Italy, man, you guys for all over the world watching and supporting this team and support this channel. So thank you for supporting my channel, but thank you for being a Spurs fan in general. And just like, this is a new season, this is a new team, and we're going to need all the support we can get. So Go Spurs Go. Thank you guys for commenting down below. I really appreciate it. I read everyone, right? So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. And thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. Okay, so a lot of news there, right? Again, if you're just tuning in, just scroll back a little bit and you can read the important announcement about the merger between Spurs Film Room and SpursTubeTv. But some other news came out today, and that is the October schedule got released for After the Buzzer this season, right? So first off, we got the 15th coming up next Friday, and we're going to have a show for the Spurs versus the Rockets. And then we're going to have a After the Buzzer for the home opener against Orlando, and then also against Denver, the Lakers, and Dallas, right? So this is going to be your slate of post-game shows brought to you by SpursTubeTv this month. And we'll be releasing the November schedule, which I already have made and everything like that. So, it's like a month-to-month thing. But man, it's just going to be so much fun this season to bring you guys this show. Something I've worked really, really hard on. So I'm glad that it's home here where it belongs, on the old Spurs Film Room channel, which is now SpursTubeTv. It's great news, man. I can't wait to bring you guys this audience, this viewership, this show. It's going to be so much fun. All right, so the schedule got announced. Make sure that you guys tune in, subscribe to this channel. Again, hit that notification bell so you get notified when we're dropping clips, when we're going live and doing full episodes, all that stuff. All right, so it should be a lot of fun. And thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. You can always head over to SpursTubeTv.com and check out more content from myself and from other Spurs creators, and check out what other Spurs creators around YouTube and the podcast world got going on, right? So a lot of cool people over there. Check out their stuff. Head over to the website. All right, so let's get on with the episode. Man, it's been 13 minutes and it's been all housekeeping, but it was important and it's very exciting, right? I can't wait. And I'm very excited to bring this show to you guys that are watching right now. Thank you guys for sticking around. All right, so here we go. Let's get into the first preseason game. Preseason game 1. The Spurs take down the Jazz 111-85. Now, first question is, should you be excited? There's like this whole Twitter battle between fans and writers and things like that, where some writers are like, calm down, everyone's getting overexcited, blah, blah, blah. And then these Spurs fans are like, yo, I'm excited. Don't kill my vibe. Why are you trying to kill my vibe, man? One, I think everyone knows that it's preseason. It doesn't matter. Everybody, that's like basic information. That's elementary into being like a fan of any type of sport, knowing that preseason doesn't matter. But what is exciting, and what Spurs fans should be excited about, is the fact that, hey, this is a team that we can get behind. I know that most of Spurs Nation out there hasn't seen much of the game, man. That game was like hard to find. That was a hard to find game. Even if you were in Texas, it was hard to find. It wasn't on the Bally network. It wasn't it was a pain in the butt to try to get a hold of. But one thing that Spurs fans should be excited about is that they can actually confident and feel like morally positive about supporting this team. It's exciting. It's young. There was mistakes, yeah. And it's preseason. We shouldn't get too high. We shouldn't get too low. Spurs Nation, don't get too high off this. But if we go out and lose to Detroit, the last thing that I want to read is, oh my God, the Spurs lost to Detroit. Is this a sign of things to come? It's like, no, no. We're not getting too excited over this win. We're not going to get too excited over this, over what might happen in these next 4 games, preseason games that we have. But it's exciting to come out with a W. It's exciting to see these young guys playing, and everything that we've heard from training camp this year has kind of shown its head a little bit in this first game. And we're not going to dive into the stats. We're not going to dive into all that, but we're going to dive into what Coach Pop had to say, what Dejounte Murray had to say, and what Joshua Primo had to say after this game. So let's go ahead and head over to Pop. If you guys saw this interview, if you haven't, I'd go and look at it, because Pop does the Carmelo 3. They were asking him like, hey, what do you think of Joshua Primo? Like, he was on this and that. And he was just like, or what do you think about his calmness, about his poise? And he looked like a veteran out there doing that. And Coach Pop was like, well, what do you want him to do? You want him to do the Carmelo thing, right? And he actually did it, which is hilarious, man. It's like a bucket list thing. Like, seeing Coach Pop do the Carmelo three-pointer to the head, that's like a bucket list thing, dude. So that was super funny to see. So let's go ahead and get into what Coach Pop had to say in the interview. When he was asked about the team's performance against the Utah Jazz, Coach Pop went on to say, what I was interested in was to see the carryover from practice. I was pleased with that. A lot of guys tried to do what we talked about on both ends of the court, so that was good. He went on to say that their effort was aggressive, and it lasted for 48. He said a full 48. It lasted for the 48. And that was impressive also. Then when we started hitting shots, and that was even more impressive, right? So Coach Pop, I wanted to talk about this. I pulled this quote out a little bit because I wanted to pull this quote out because there's something that I don't know if everyone understands, and that's like the process of a preseason and a training camp period. As a coach, again, if you guys don't know, I was a high school coach in Texas, a 6A program, big program here in Texas, for about 7 years as an assistant varsity coach. Right? I have plenty of experience, and I was a JV coach too. So I was an assistant to the varsity, and I had my own squad. And let me tell you something, you're working on in practice, you're working on things, right? Whatever it is, your offensive, defensive, you're building every day. You're getting better. Well, when the preseason comes and you get the opportunity to see what you do and see if your players are actually embraced and bought into what you're preaching every day in practice, that's what you want to see. Because the win, like I said, the win and the loss doesn't matter. We can't get too high or low on the wins and the loss. But what we do want to see is positive a positive transfer of what we're working on in practice and bringing that out against whoever it is that you're playing, right? So so this was very good to hear that Coach Pop saw that on the floor, because that's all you want out of a coach. As a coach, out of your team, all you want is for them to be bought in and to just run through the wall like gung ho, everybody having each other's back and just trying to get done with the goal, trying to get the mission accomplished, right? So this was good to hear out of Coach Pop that he was pleased with everything that he saw. And let's go ahead and get into what Dejounte Murray had to say, because it kind of builds off this point here. So Dejounte Murray had a great night, 17 points. Him and Joshua Primo actually both had 17 points. So Dejounte had a slow first half, got it going in the second half, and then started cooking from there. So let's go ahead and get into what Dejounte thought about this game. So when he was asked about the Spurs offense, this is what he had to say. He said, that's something that we've been working on from open gym to training camp, and that's sharing the ball. And we want the best for your teammate. We all want the same goal, and that's to win. So what we're seeing out of this young Spurs team is what they've been talking about over the past week. And that's the fact that we're going to be moving the ball. Everyone's going to get shots, and there's no ball stoppers, right? So that's what we're seeing. Dejounte had a little bit to say about that. Now, when they went on to ask him about the defense of this team and what the potential was of the defense of this team. Dejounte first, like he shut that down. Like he's like, it's early. It's the first preseason game. The thing about me is I don't like to put limits on myself or my team. We just got to grow. We had the opportunity to go out and play against another team instead of each other, and it was good on both ends, but we can always get better. That's that mindset, that leadership mindset from Dejounte Murray. Um, that we love here in San Antonio. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. One, the defense looked good, but you can always get better. You're literally at like level 1 right now in preseason game 1, right? But something that I like that he said here was we had the opportunity to go against another team versus each other. Now, again, kind of pulling back from my own experience as a coach, that's like the best, right? Because in practice you're trying to encourage being physical. You're trying to encourage, going at each other and keeping that competition level high. You basically want these guys to fight in practice. You want them to fight, but I'll be able to shake it, to shake it off after that, and just say good stuff to each other, whatever. You want that physicalness in your practice. And so when you beat up on each other after a while, that does something for your team. That kind of like builds rapport, that builds chemistry. When you go to battle against like your teammate for a week or 2 weeks of practice, and it's just like day in, day out, you're going at the same guy and you're trying to prove things every single day. You built that, it's like Rocky and Apollo Creed, right? They were foes, and then once they got in the ring together, after that they were best friends, because you built those relationships when you test each other, when you're pushing each other. And so it's good to see like Dejounte recognize that, hey, it was just good to go up against someone else, right? We could stop beating up on each other for a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was all right. He's saying it was okay, but we got to get better. And I think it goes to show that this team is on the same page and everybody just wants to win, right? So I love to hear about all that from Dejounte Murray. His mindset is, look, it is what it is. We're gonna move on. I think he said that too. He's like, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna focus on Detroit. So we got Detroit tomorrow night on Wednesday, right? So thank you guys for hanging out. We're not done yet. We're gonna go ahead and talk about what Joshua Primo had to say about his big night, right? He was the talk of the town, the talk of the game. He checked in and was efficient as hell and only missed one shot. And he looked confident out there, and he opened up a lot of eyes, right? So we're going to go ahead and get into what Joshua Primo had to say after this short break here from SpursTubeTv, which is right here now. It's not Spurs Film Room anymore. It's SpursTubeTv. So we're going to check a little message here from about After the Buzzer, man. The post-game show that you do not want to miss. If you want to know what we do on After the Buzzer, when we get on that post-game show, we're dishing out a game ball. We're talking big stats of the night. We're talking about areas that the team shined and glowed in, and then some areas that they need to improve in and grow in as well, right? So it's a great post-game show for you guys. They'll be here throughout the season right here on this channel, man. So excited to bring that show to this channel. Go Spurs, go. Let's go ahead and check it out. We'll be right back. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Go Spurs, go! We're gonna get into what Joshua Primo said after the game, after his big night against the Utah Jazz in his NBA debut, if you will, even though it's just a preseason game. But first off, I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys for watching right now. Thank you for being a Spurs fan. If you like this channel, if you want Spurs film room breakdowns, if you want live shows like this, if you want post game shows throughout the season, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you like this video. Smash that like button down below. Chant Go Spurs Go when you do. It sends good luck waves to Spurs fans out there in the universe, right? If you want to go above and beyond in supporting this channel and supporting the post-game show and get some perks along the way, make sure that you head over to the Patreon link in the description below, right? You can get giveaway entries, you get merch discounts, shout outs, all that type of stuff on the Patreon down below. So again, if you chanting "Go Spurs Go." Let me know where you're chanting that "Go Spurs Go" from, wherever you are in the world. It's unbelievable to hear the responses of where you're sitting from right now, and the chair that you're in and where that is. That's just so awesome for me to hear and read when I'm reading Australia, and I'm reading Canada, I'm reading, San Antonio, right? A bunch of San Antonio. To be honest, I think I have more of an international audience than maybe I even do in San Antonio. I don't know. San Antonio, if you're sitting in San Antonio right now, let me know. Stand up. Let your name be heard. Leave a comment down below if you're watching this live um or post live, right? So thank you guys for hanging out. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So let's get right back into what Joshua Primo had to say after this game. So he sat down at the podium, and you can just tell this was a little overwhelming. Like you can tell the experience was just a little overwhelming. The experience of having a great game, of being cheered on by the fans, having a unbelievable stat line, right? Just had a great shooting night. One, very impressive too, and getting a lot of confidence, a lot of positive feedback from his peers, from the players on this team, from the coaching staff, and now from the reporters and from the fan base, right? So he's just had like a crazy 24 hours, if you ask me, and that's Joshua Primo. So let's go ahead and read a little bit on what he had to say about being out there, in the arena. He said, being out there with our fans, he emphasized that, with our fans, Spurs Nation, what's up? San Antonio, stand up. With our fans was an amazing feeling. My teammates made sure that I was confident out there, and then the fans made it easy. Uh, he went on to say, you got to be physical. And they asked him what was his big takeaway from this game and from his experience so far. He said, you got to be physical, right? We talked about being physical earlier. Like it's extremely important to be tough. And so he goes on to say, you got to be physical. That is the biggest thing I took away. On and off the ball. Now that's very important. I'm going to bring that up in a second. On and off the ball. This league is going to punish you if you are not ready for it. During training camp, my teammates were going to make sure that I was going to know that. So coming into this game, I felt prepared, but it's only going to get harder from here. I love this quote. I love this quote. I've loved the quote from Pop One talking about how he's happy that he's seeing what they're doing in practice, transferring over and being successful in the game. That's one thing that's awesome. Second thing that's awesome, Dejounte has the right mentality on, saying it's just a preseason game. We're growing. We got to get better. Now, Joshua Primo saying this was the cherry on top of just a great night. One, shout out Zach Montana, is going to be co-hosting this year on After the Buzzer. Was telling me how the atmosphere was a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird right now in the AT&T Center, not being so live. You know what I'm saying? But they got live last night, and they were chanting Primo, and that thing was rocking. The AT&T Center was rocking because of Joshua Primo last night and his performance last night. So it's good to see that. Like he went on in this interview, I don't have it written here, but he went on in the interview to say that's like the biggest crowd he's ever played in, and that was like not even a full house in the AT&T Center. Because you got to remember that he came from high school, went into college at Alabama during a COVID year, so there was already like minimal, if anything, seating at that point in time. I don't know if you guys can remember this past basketball season, but there wasn't a lot of opportunity to get like a packed arena or anything like that. So he's coming in like from high school to the NBA without ever really being on that stage. I don't know if he went to like the state finals or anything like that where he's from. I don't know. He's from Canada, right? So I don't know how things go up there, but as far as like the level of stage that he's been on, last night might have been the highest, and he did what? He performed, he balled out, he showed up, he didn't shy away, he showed swagger, he showed potential, he showed a lot. He showed a dead eye shooting. Now remember, if you guys saw the other clip I did on him a few days ago about him being on this team and if there's a role for him, to me the answer is yes. It's in the shooting role. I mean, this is preseason one. Now, when they say don't get too excited, y'all remember last year, like Devin Vassell during the preseason games got a lot of touches and he got a lot of opportunity to show like, oh wow, Devin Vassell's can do a lot. But then what happened when the regular season came? The regular season started, and Devin Vassell didn't get that same type of run, didn't get those same type of shots. And that's because this is the preseason. Again, they want to get these younger guys right now that aren't going to get a lot of time during the season, get them a little bit more time, right? The guys at the end of the bench, get them a little bit more time right now, because come October 20th against Orlando, and from then on out, it's whoever can get the job done, right? Because every game matters. Every single game matters. So right now it's preseason, so take it with a grain of salt a little bit, but be extremely excited. I'm not saying don't be excited. Be excited, because I mean, like last year, Devin Vassell was extremely impressive in preseason, and he's an extremely impressive player right now. So yes, be excited for Joshua Primo for sure on the night that he had. But when he went on to say, my teammates were gonna let me know how physical it was, that means one thing. Let me tell you again, like in practice, in a training camp, you guys, the players are going at each other, man. Like they are in each other's face. They're being physical. I'm telling you, they're almost fighting. They're talking all types of mess. Like they're getting you in your head. And when he says, the biggest thing I took away is that you got to be physical on and off ball. Yeah, because he's not just talking about, with the ball in your hand and being able to catch the ball and move and rip and be able to play with the physicality of the defenders in this league. That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about off ball too, because I mean, you guys don't know, if you haven't played, you don't know. You don't know this, that when you're running, just like trying to run around on the court, the defense is like checking you. They're trying to like make it hard for you to go where you want to go. Off ball, you like, that's why like getting open is hard. Getting open is really hard. You got to like move this way, set them up this way, come back this way. You know what I mean? Like create some stuff. We got to get physical on that. Put, don't extend on the push off, because that's a foul, but definitely give them something to create some physical presence there, because you're getting checked by the defense while you're just running out. It's an extremely physical game, basketball in general, but at this level is the highest level. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's ultra physical here. And it seems to me like the Spurs young players, maybe like Dejounte, Derek, Lonnie Walker, and Keldon, those guys wanted to make sure that Joshua wasn't going to get punked right out the gate, and that he knows and he's aware, because who's more physical than Keldon? Keldon's probably one of the more physical guys in the league in general. And if he's like, making sure that Joshua gets adjusted properly to what the level is going to be here in the NBA, that's great news for the Spurs. I mean, Keldon and Lonnie and those guys, DeJounte getting after this young kid is only going to make him better. And he knows this. But hey, man, when you go up against a team that's not as physical, that's when you have your way with them, right? That's why you practice that hard. That's why you go to practice and you compete at that level and you push each other at that level. So when you go into the next game, if the other team isn't ready to play and they're not coming at you that hard, then that's a cakewalk. That's good news for you. Excuse me. That's good for you, news for you as a player. So Joshua Primo had an unbelievable night. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I don't see him getting much run during the season, but he'll have opportunity, just like Devin Vassell had opportunity last year. He'll have opportunity this year, but I think the focus is on Devin Vassell, Keldon, Derek DeJounte, and those guys, right? So yeah, so that's what I got to say about that. So great to hear what these three guys had to say after this game. Now, I know there's some people in the chat room and talking about the bigs. The bigs played well. They all showed areas still needing of improvement throughout the game. I got to see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I didn't watch the full game, but I got to see like some Spurs highlights. I got to see some Utah highlights, right? Which is like good to see where the Spurs are making errors, right? Because if Utah's scoring, that means that San Antonio is messing up somewhere. And some of the bigs, had a couple of late rotations or just got bullied or whatever. But it was awesome to see Jock Landale out there creating with the ball and being a smart player, a great shooter, spacing the floor. Drew Ebanks hit his three, right? I mean, that was great to see. Jakob is still a high-level defender, at least right now. I mean, it's still preseason, and these games aren't really being televised as far as I'm concerned. So I know that the last one is, right, the one against Houston, right? That's where we're having our After the Buzzer, try to get as many people that have watched that game to hang out with us that night. But, yeah, no, so, Yeah, no, so it was a great win, but tomorrow we got Detroit, and then we have another game on Friday, I believe. All right, so a lot of good things coming up for San Antonio. Again, if you guys are just joining us, please smash that like button down below. Chant "Go Spurs Go" when you do, and let me know in the chat where you're chanting that from, man. It's unbelievable. Like it was one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring After the Buzzer from the other channel that was Spurs. You know, it was formerly OOC. I wanted to bring that here to you guys because you guys are the best, man. You guys are the best. You guys comment, you chant "Go Spurs Go." I'm like eating lunch and then I get a notification that's like "Go Spurs Go" from Sydney, Australia, and I'm like, what? It's like "Go Spurs Go" from Japan. What? That's amazing. Huge Japan Spurs fan base over there. I had no idea. So that's awesome. And then the ones from 210 and RGV 956, Town. I mean, yo, San Antonio, stand up. I'm telling you, if you guys are here right now, stand up. Um, but man, what a great community you guys have been during this like off season period. Really started getting the engine running on this channel, like, and during the play-in time at the very end of last season. That's when I had the birth of my first son. It was in April. Had him in April, so he's been a blessing. And if you want to know a little bit more about that side of things, like I'm taking care of my son primarily right now, right? So I had to kind of step away from teaching and coaching for the remainder of this school year, um because I need to take care of my boy, and family comes first. And we're Spurs family. My boy's going to be part of that Spurs family. And I had to step away from the job to take care of him, because daycare is a little bit not really in the picture right now, and reasons that you guys don't want to hear about. But ultimately, with that, the positive out of all that is that I get to continue to build the community, and build the content, the Spurs content for you guys. And that's what I'm gonna do. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And thank you guys for supporting me since for as long as you have. If that's a month, if that's a week, if that's 2 years, whatever it's been that you've been supporting my type of content, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm so excited for this season. Right. So again, just to recap, before I let you guys go, some important announcements. You thought you were watching Spurs Film Room? Well, you're not. You're watching SpursTubeTv, right? The two channels have merged here to be permanently here on this channel. What does this mean? It means that this channel will now become SpursTubeTv. The Spurs Film Rooms are not going away. I love breaking down Spurs basketball for you guys. So they're gonna stick around, and they're gonna be on YouTube Shorts, right? I don't know if you guys seen the I've done about 3 new shorts. One on Luka Samanic versus Kawhi Leonard, one on Lonnie Walker, and then one on Devin Vassell, right? So I love breaking down those clips for you guys, man. It's gonna be so much fun to do that for you more throughout the season, right? Also, that means that After the Buzzers will be aired right here. You don't have to go anywhere else. It's already here, right? It's already here. After the Buzzers start October 15th. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun throughout the season. All right. So Patreon members, those of you guys that are in here, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Literally, I cannot do all this without my Patreon members. My Patreon members, they help support. I mean, some of them are pledging $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, whatever it is that you can do. If you want to, if you support this channel, support Spurs Nation here, and this content that I give you, and you want to support even more, and you feel like you guys can do that, shoot, I sure appreciate it. Because like I said, I had to leave the job for a little while. I plan on going back into it next summer, next school year, hopefully with the pandemic being a little bit more settled down by then, and daycare, my son being a little bit older. My son's a little too young right now to go to daycare in our eyes. So we're going to take that step next year. So again, every Patreon member goes above and beyond to not just support the channel, but it supports me, supports my efforts. It supports the graphic designing, the equipment. With the Patreon members that I've had over the past 2 months, I'm getting a second monitor so I can finally, guys, I'm like on a, y'all want to see what I do all my stuff on? Like, watch, let me get the webcam off here. What's up, Spurs Nation? But this thing right here, this is what I do everything on. This laptop right here brings you Spurs Film Room and Spurs Tube TV, and that's it. And then I have my mic set up here. And if you guys want me to do like a tech demo for you guys, if you're trying to start your own content and you want just like, hey Rob, what do you use? What softwares do you use? What's your hardware like? I can do that for you. I have so anyways, the point is that there's still plenty of room to grow in the terms of like quality and production on the hardware side of things. So my Patreon members, the reason why I'm talking about this is because the Patreon members are helping me do that. They're helping me like upgrade software. They're helping me upgrade my hardware to bring you a better quality show, better streaming show, and all that type of stuff. So that goes above and beyond. So shout out to the Patreon members out there. I can't do this without you guys. The old SpursTube TV channel, what's going to happen to that one if this one's SpursTube TV now? It's going to pivot. I'm going to go ahead and take my film room talents and I'm going to go ahead and do more film room breakdowns of other players and other plays throughout the NBA this season. That one's going to be the one that I'm going to try to dabble in a little bit more here and there when I'm not working on bringing you guys stuff here, right? So that channel is going to pivot to something else, and it just made too much sense to bring After the Buzzer back over here where it belongs. If you want to scroll through my channel, actually, you can go to like November 2019, I think, somewhere around there. That was when I had like the first After the Buzzer, like when this channel was a Bucking Spurs podcast back then, right? Like those of y'all that have been with me that long know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so that's some important announcements. Again, if you didn't catch this at the beginning of the show. And then also we announced the October schedule for the After the Buzzers that are going to be coming here on this channel. And that's against the Houston Rockets, the Orlando Magic, the Denver Nuggets, the Lakers, and the Mavericks this season. There's some more games. The Spurs play against Milwaukee. They play against a couple other teams throughout this month. But these are going to be the games that we're going to be producing some post-game coverage for you guys. So should be awesome. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to all the contributors at SpursTubeTv.com. If you want to know who's going to be guest hosting and hosting this season for these shows right here, you need to go to SpursTubeTv.com, which is like at the bottom of the picture, right? Go to SpursTubeTv.com and check out the contributor list. We got great hosts coming in this season, like Damian Bartnick, Ty Yeager, Noah Magaro-George, Zach Montana, Ethan Quintero, Jude McLaren, just a bunch of talented people. John Dyer from Spurs and Salsa, Ruben, the Mouse, right, from Spurs and Salsa too. So like, trying to bring in as many like Spurs creators out there that are grinding, doing that grinding stone thing. Because what I also do here is I try to elevate other creators out there, right? So like, if you have something, whatever, you like, message me, message me and whatever, I can chat with you and give you some advice or whatever it is. And if you're someone who does content like all the time and stuff, like you actually put in the work, let me know. And we can try to maybe even squeeze you in here as a guest spot or something. But like I said, the Patreon members I'm going to try to get Patreon members to get guest spots throughout the show, throughout this season. So if you want to hop on After the Buzzer and get that opportunity, check out the Patreon link in the description below. All right. So this is the schedule for October. At the end of October, probably around October on Halloween or the date, maybe November 1st. I'm not sure if we have a game November 1st. I need to check on that After the Buzzer on that day or not. But we'll have the November schedule released to you guys very soon. So thank you guys for hanging out again. Spurs Film Room is kind of folding itself up into a small part of this channel. It's going to be, I'm going to be doing Spurs Film Room breakdowns as YouTube shorts now on this channel. And, the content will keep coming and in a big way. And that's with After the Buzzer coming this season. So again, so excited for this year. It was a great first game. We got another one tomorrow, and we'll see how we do. We'll see how the minutes kind of get played out. Final word on this actual game is actually, there's a comment in here from the Houston Oilers. What's up, man? Need to get TSR on here. You know what? I actually I follow TSR. I watch his stuff. So I mean, TSR has great content. I've been thinking about hitting him up. Maybe you guys should drop a comment over there. All right, and then him and I maybe can link up at some point. Maybe get him to guest guest host on some of these shows. I'll reach out to him. There's a lot of other creators though too that I'm trying to reach out to right now to see if they want to hop on board. But man, with the ones that we have right now, man, it's awesome. But always welcoming more creators over here at SpursTubeTv. But anyways, a last final comment on this game. A lot of people, some of the knocks on this game were Lonnie Walker didn't, produce too much, but he looked really good. Luka Samanic didn't get much playing time. Everybody played before Luka. What does that mean? Does Jock played before Luka? Does that mean that Jock's jumped Luka? It might mean all those things. It might mean none. Seriously, like it's kind of hard to read during preseason. The only thing I will take away from this game that actually seems to me like this is going to be the plan, right? That starting unit, which is Dejounte, Derek, Keldon, Doug McDermott, and Jakob Poeltl. That starting unit, I think, is going to be the one that they actually kind of roll with for a little while and actually give 15, 20 games and see how that starting unit does. The second thing that I think is going to kind of play through once the preseason's over is Lonnie Walker and Bryn Forbes coming off the bench fast, like quick. And Drew Eubanks too. Drew Eubanks, Lonnie Walker, and Bryn Forbes coming off the bench. Let me tell you what's so interesting about that. When Lonnie Walker, Bryn Forbes, and Drew Eubanks come into the game for Dejounte, Keldon, and Jakob, which they did, you now have probably your best shooting lineup that you can put on the floor. I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not, but you have Derek White running the point who can shoot the three pretty well. You have Bryn Forbes at the two who can shoot the ball very well. You have Lonnie Walker who can shoot the ball very well. You have Doug McDermott still on the floor who can still shoot the ball very well. Now you have Jakob. Now you have Drew Eubanks who's coming into the game now and shooting threes. So now you have 5 guys on the floor who can shoot the 3 ball, right? Y'all with me on that? That's something that the Spurs did last night. And one of maybe the few things that I can see. Again, I didn't get to catch this game like from beginning to end, and I was trying to follow it as best as I could. But if that's going to be the rotation, then good Lord, man, I cannot wait to see this season, man. I cannot wait to see the season play out because we're throwing lineups like that out there. Like, that's going to be that second half of the first quarter, those last 4 minutes are going to be raining threes, and we're going to be raining threes on whoever checks in on the other team. Because that squad right there is tough. Bryn, Lonnie, Derek, Doug McDermott still on the floor. Drew, sorry, I'm always saying Jakob. Drew Eubanks. Oh my God, dude. That's good stuff, man, to end the first quarter. I love that. I don't know if you guys were with me on that, but yeah. So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this one. I hear the youngin over there, young Spurs fan over there, needing a diaper change. So go Spurs go, man. Thank you guys for hanging out from Singapore, from the Philippines to Australia to San Antonio, Eagle Pass, right? All you guys in here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Really appreciate you guys. Very excited to bring SpursTubeTv where it belongs, and that's here and with this audience, with you guys. And they were both my channels, so I could do whatever I wanted with both channels. But ultimately, the final decision was to bring After the Buzzer here for you guys instead of making you guys have to go over there to watch it. It just didn't make no sense for me, right? I need to do this for you guys. And so it's going to be a great season, a lot of fun. Go Spurs go. There's going to be some changes, a few minor changes maybe here and there to the show. As you can tell, we have like a new background and new logos. We're going to have some new transitions coming in here and there. So stay tuned. A lot of good stuff, man. Go Spurs go. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'll catch you guys on the next episode, which will hopefully be this Saturday. I'm going to try to go live as soon as I can on Saturday. So it's hopefully somewhere in that mid-morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Somewhere in there, I'm going to go live, right? Central Standard Time, right? Central Standard Time. So thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming up. A lot of big things coming to you guys from this channel. Go Spurs go, man. It's going to be a great one. Adios, amigos.